There's one conflict which is still ongoing. It is the Russia-Ukraine conflict. American President Donald Trump is now dialing in this conflict too. He's spoken to both parties yesterday, which means Russia and Ukraine. It was a 2-hour-long call with President Putin. He's announced both sides are ready to talk for an immediate and absolute ceasefire. So America trying to be the mediator for Russia and Ukraine as well. US President says he's been watching visuals coming in from both sides for a while. Over 5,000 soldiers are dying every week in the conflict. It's brutal, he says. Trump also mentioning that talks with both parties have been positive. Peace deal will be finalized soon. Russian President Putin echoing the sentiment, saying Russia wants a ceasefire, thanking the US for its support and effort. He claimed that Russia is committed to peace. World is standing by with him. Also, similar statements coming from Ukraine. Interestingly, Ukrainian President Zelensky says Ukraine is ready for a peace deal, but warns if Russia breaks the agreement, strong sanctions must be imposed on Russia.
We just spent 2.5 hours talking to Vladimir Putin, and I think some progress has been made. It's a terrible situation going on over there. 5,000 young people every single week are being killed. So hopefully we did something. We also spoke to the heads of most of the European nations, and we're trying to get that whole thing wrapped up.
Our editor, India Today Global, Pranay Upadhyay, joining me for the latest on that. Pranay, good morning. Now, clearly, America is desperate to show itself as the mediator, whether it comes to India, Pakistan, Russia, Ukraine, or, of course, Israel, Gaza. But tell me this, he's tried this mediation earlier as well, didn't really work out. How are you looking at this latest development?
Good morning, Pooja. And definitely, you rightly pointed out that President Donald Trump is desperately trying to term himself as a deal maker. He's trying to stop or get the ceasefire done between all these countries, be it the Russia-Ukraine war, be it the Israel-Hamas conflict, and even he claimed purportedly to have brokered a peace deal between India and Pakistan. However, Operation Sindoor is still on pause, so let me clarify for our viewers. But as far as the Russia-Ukraine conflict is concerned, you would recall that President Donald Trump, even before his election, he said that this war, this conflict would not have started if he would have been there in Oval Office. And even after assuming Oval Office, he has been making these overtures. He had been sympathetic towards President Putin, and he said recently that nothing would happen unless I and Putin have this phone call. So yesterday, they had a phone call of 2 hours and 5 minutes. It was a long call. It also discussed the bilateral relationship between Russia and the United States. It also discussed the prisoner exchange of 9 individuals between US and Russia. But it also discussed at length the proposed ceasefire mechanism, a ceasefire deal between Russia and Ukraine, how it would be discussed, how it should be discussed, what could be possible. Because you would recall that earlier, President Donald Trump had a meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, which did not go well in White House. However, during his subsequent meeting with President Zelensky, he has cut out a deal, which is like a rare earth mineral deal with Ukraine. And now it has been decided that Russia and Ukraine will engage in a bilateral ceasefire deal process, a negotiation process. However, the Russian side, during their statement, clarified that there is no time frame which has been decided between Russia and Ukraine to finalize this deal. But the process has begun. President Donald Trump also briefed even Pope on this thing. He also took the European leaders on board. He had a call with French President Emmanuel Macron, Giorgia Meloni of Italy, and various other leaders. He spoke about this. So this seems to be a positive indication.
It's been over 3 years. Possibly if Donald Trump can bring in a mediation, that would be, to his credit, a huge development. We'll be tracking that. Pranay, thank you very much for now. Russia-Ukraine, can America manage to bring peace between the two nations?